When you first started writing songs, you were careful not to be so autobiographical that listeners would not know who it was about. Are you still that way, or has it changed over the years?
I think there was a certain level of self-consciousness when I first started about did I have the right to talk about people in my life, or was it so vain to be talking only about myself? So I think as my songwriting has evolved, I still understand that it's dangerous to talk about people, real people in your songs, because they don't get a voice in your songs. However, it's impossible not to. So I think that it is all about finding the truth in whatever are the details of your life, but creating fiction around it, because you can really wound people by things you say in songs that you think are true even at the time. You may not think that's true 5 years later.
Writing songs involves the same process, but has it become more purposeful over the years?
Oh, I think it has become more purposeful. It's funny you're asking me these questions. I just finished a solo record, and all these things are really present to me right now. So yes, I think that, I don't know why, but I think as you get older, things happen to you that have final impact. You know, you lose people, and you start to see that the way things are is very ingrained in you or in the world around you. So yes, I think that the songs are very purposeful. It's not like I sit down didactically and say, I'm going to write with this message, but I don't add bullshit anymore. I don't add filler. You know, I wait until the right words have come along. And I sometimes when I listen back to my record, I think, wow, you didn't do that. You didn't waste any words on this one.
So you've achieved so much. Is there any career highlight that stands out to you above all others?
Well, I mean, I think that rubbing shoulders with great people is its own satisfaction. So coming here tonight and being around David for the night, and I probably won't see him for another year or whatever. You never know. I mean, I'll go to Vancouver, but those are the highlights. You know, being around Chris Christopherson, hanging out in Stompin' Tom's basement for a night, even though it didn't come to a good conclusion. I mean, those are the kind of things that really stick with you. That you realize that you have a very charmed life, that you're able to have time with these people.
Are you able to share a little bit more about your experience in Stompin' Tom's basement? Because we hear it's an extended period of time. Typically, you're there till the sun comes up. I'm curious what your experience was like.
It was definitely long. We were there for an express purpose of trying to talk him into accepting the Canadian Music Hall of Fame, which he did not want to do for a number of reasons. And they all had to do with his feeling about Canadian music and the way it treated Canadians. And so it was really a very long discussion of us trying to talk him into it, him telling us why he wouldn't do it, and a lot of cigarettes and a lot of beer. And I mean, he's a fascinating character, and he was a really strong conscience that led him, right? And so it was an eye-opener. I mean, I could not have been on the road with him and done one of those long nights. I can't drink that much beer, but it was great to just have that conversation with him.
Maybe just a little bit too much secondhand smoke. Let me just ask you, how is it different writing alone for your solo projects or writing with, say, Greg Keeler or guys at Blue Rodeo?
Well, it's only different in the end, because we all write alone. Greg and I write alone, and then we come together and we make a record together. So that involves a lot of fitting the pieces together, compromise, suggestion each other's songs. That's not the way when we do solo records. And I think you'll see when we have 2 solo records coming out, and they couldn't be more different. And I think that part of it is that we needed to have a chance to just entirely guide our own record. And they're very different, but I think they sound like the two of us. And so I think it's not in the initial stages, it's in the final creation of the record that it's quite different.
That's great. We can't wait to hear what you guys have created, and I thank you for your time, and enjoy the night.